Hey everybody, welcome in back to Between the 20s. I'm Bryce, here joined by Amer and Mike, as always, and today we're coming at you with some first half NBA action. Boys, how are you feeling about the NBA season so far? Amer, your Celtics are doing pretty well.
I know, we're doing well, and all around I think this NBA season, it's great. Way better than the past couple of seasons. There's actually parity for once. The
Thank
Warriors
God.
are not atop the West and clearly going to win, except for last year when they all got injured, but past couple of years has kind of been a foregone conclusion that we'll see the Warriors in the finals. Now, who knows? Ton of good teams on both sides, East and West. So it's a great season so far. It had a lot of hype coming in. I think it's lived up so far.
Hate to be the buzzkill here, but NBA ratings are actually down.
You know why they're down? Because Zion hasn't played yet.
Oh well. Yesterday.
Till last night,
That is
the
correct.
ratings will come right back.
17 points in 3:08 in the fourth quarter, but you'll see that on the Zion Williamson episode for you that we got for you.
That's fair.
But-
Keep teasing you in, folks. Teasing you in.
But NBA ratings might be down, but we're enjoying it here.
We are enjoying it. We're always down to enjoy it.
But that's not really what we're focused on. We don't really care about the ratings right now. What we care about are the first half rapid reactions, and we have each of these guys here, one surprise and one disappointment for this NBA season. We're going to start with Mike. This can be one player, one team, one concept, any idea about the NBA. What are you surprised about positively, Mike?
I'm gonna go with a surprise here. Positive surprise. LeBron James, folks, is still quite good.
What?
Yes, LeBron James is still quite good. He's putting together a fantastic season with the Lakers. They're currently the number one seed in the West, and his numbers really haven't dropped off. If anything, he is leading the league in assists right now. Highest assist total of his career. And I think that just speaks to the fact that he's developed as a player, as a team player, and now seeks, also, gotta say, people just seem to say this LeBron thing in an undisputed fashion. Having Anthony Davis, one of the best big men scorers in the league on your team, is very good. Probably like 6 of those assists every night are alley-oops to Anthony Davis that I could potentially throw. But still, I mean, you have to speak to his experience leading this team in a very strong fashion. Very excited to see what the Lakers are doing down there in LA. But obviously, the thing that I'm concerned about with LeBron, he's getting up there in years. 15 straight All-Star appearances, by the way. Getting up there in years. But he's going to have the second half of the season here. That is where I think if we see any sort of aging, it would occur there. So keep your eyes on him. But first half, very pleasantly surprised.
Absolutely.
So far.
Absolutely. He's come out of the gate strong. Amer mentioned this off the air, but first time in his career, he's had the spring off. So
Yeah.
he's supposed to come in and light the world on fire, and he absolutely has.
To all you LeBron James lovers there, he was off for that time because he didn't make the playoffs.
Yes. I actually think this is only surprise to Mike because a lot of people saw this coming. LeBron James is still top 2 best player in the world. You could argue him and Kawhi. You could argue him and Giannis. And KD when he's healthy. You could throw KD in there. But
Kyle
I mean,
Korver, just
Best shooter ever. Best shooter ever.
This is true.
But everyone saw this coming except for you, Mike. I just think you're wrong about this. And even in a segment where you're praising him, you find out subtle ways to discredit him. And that's what I love about you LeBron haters. I'm not a LeBron hater. I just tell it like it is.
I'm not a hater. I'm just telling it like it is, as you said.
You can't boldly tell it like it is when you're on separate sides of this coin.
I don't know. What are you calling me out for? You're saying that just that people saw this coming? It's not that much of a surprise.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think
It's just something that I found very notable. I think if you could cap the NBA off in a few big statements, that would be one of them from the first half.
LeBron James is still one of the best.
LeBron
players
James
in
is
the
great.
Okay.
I think
sure.
the biggest thing is just the assist total. He is changing his game a little bit.
He's always been a great passer, but now he's pumping up the numbers.
And he's got a secondary option that he can pass to. Of course, it was Kyrie Irving for a while there who passed to LeBron.
Yep.
Now LeBron gets to play the other role, which is good to see. But now for...
And also
Probably-
putting up 25 points per game, we should say.
that too.
So it's just a little bit. But he's shooting 49% from the field, which is down from last year.
Still good. 49% is great.
And it's
Apples
actually
and
below his
oranges.
career average of
Apples and
50%.
oranges.
Still-
It's 'cause he shoots
All right,
from the
oranges.
outside.
Still great.
Now, on to Amer for something that's actually a surprise. How are you feeling about one of the surprise Eastern teams?
Yeah, most of you know, after that preview, Eastern team, a surprise. We're talking about the Miami Heat guys. They are number 2 in the East behind only the Milwaukee Bucks. Everyone saw the Bucks coming. A lot of people saw the Sixers. A lot of people saw the Celtics. Us included. A lot of us a couple of us talked about the Pacers and the Raptors and the Nets. We had the Heat at, 7, 8 seed?
Yeah.
Crazy how well they're doing. They just play the right way. Starts at the top with Pat Riley. It's all about the culture. From Pat Riley down to Eric Spoelstra, and of course, their best player and their tone setter, Jimmy Butler. He's been great, and he's really influenced all these other guys on the team. Bam Adebayo, Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, some of these young guys as well. So watch out for the Heat. They're alive in the playoffs. They could make Eastern Conference Finals. They could even threaten the Bucks, maybe. So they've been playing great.
And
no one really saw this coming.
In honor of the Miami take, and I guess the Super Bowl coming in 2 weeks, Amar is wearing a Miami Dolphins themed shirt here. He's got the little green going on, and then he's got the orange 3 there on his shoulder. Looks like he just came off of.
It's not really the same.
Just
green.
at a Hard Rock Stadium.
It's not really the same green. This is more of a normal green. They have more of a teal or a light green, a turquoise.
Aqua green.
Aqua.
I like it.
But certainly with Miami here, and they're set up for a long, long time. Tyler Hero's a rookie. Kendrick Nunn, young player.
Rookie. Also, undrafted rookie, I think.
Rookie.
Don't quote me on that.
Bam Adebayo, second, third year in the league, something like that. This team's set up for a while.
Derrick Jones, young player.
Absolutely fire Miami Vice jerseys.
But, I mean, if they... So, Jimmy Butler, not as Stephen A. Smith would say, bona fide star, I would say.
I think he
Jimmy
is.
Butler?
I think he is.
All right, he could be. All right, he's close, but I think that they need at least another star. I think to bring them.
Oh, I agree with that.
Probably.
I agree
think
with
it's
that.
a good core. It's a good core, but I think best case scenario they wind up like this year's Celtics with that core.
What? I think with the Heat, they do need one more piece to really solidify them as a legitimate title contender to be in that upper echelon with the Bucks, the Clippers, and the Lakers, but. Definitely solidified in that second tier. No one saw them there. They're just great.
And it's attractive free agent destination.
Of course.
Because
South Beach.
No state income tax.
No taxes.
For all those accountants out there.
I wrote a little paper on that too.
It's
real.
It's
real.
It's true.
Yep.
It
is
true.
real. A little Camelot Index action.
There are some conspiracy theories that's actually why Bosh, Wade, and LeBron met up in Miami.
For the taxes?
Yeah.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me.
Or the girls. So you always know that Pat Riley's always live in the trade market. He might make a big deal. I know they were talking about Chris Paul at some point. They're talking about Derrick Rose a little bit. Maybe they'll add someone like that and really push themselves up this year. If not, they'll definitely be looking for some guys in free agency and in the offseason to add to this core.
Yeah. D Rose on that team would be filthy. Would be absolutely filthy. I mean, dynamic scorer like that.
Yeah, what a guy.
But that's it for the positives. Now we have our
time to turn those smiles into frowns.
Our biggest disappointments, and depending on whether or not you are a fan of this team or the team's players that we're going to talk about, this might be a good thing for you. I don't know. But let's kick it off. We just mentioned a team at the top of the East, and Mike said a team more towards the bottom.
Yes, we just talked about
Very far towards the bottom.
Perhaps in the basement.
How you need a group of star players to really make a team. And the New York Knicks failed to really sign any stars in the offseason. I mean, after Kevin Durant tore his Achilles, it became kind of difficult for the Knicks to have that core of Zion, KD, and Kyrie.
Especially when they didn't get the first pick in the draft.
That also happened. But, I mean, coming into the season, at least as a Knicks fan, you thought the franchise had direction. You were excited because they realized that they didn't sign any free agents, but they made a bunch of short-sighted contracts, just 1 to 2 year deals with a bunch of experienced guys. We have... and obviously signed R.J. Barrett, drafted and signed R.J. Barrett. But we had some good contracts in there. Taj Gibson, Marcus Morris. You guys laughing at me.
Taj Gibson was a great contract in like 2009.
Elfrid Payton.
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. We had a bunch of guys where we thought this, and we had Dave Fizdale, who was the coach who promised that he could get some talent to come to New York.
Uh-oh.
That worked out super well.
And then 10 games into the season, Dave Fizdale all of a sudden gets axed. We have an interim coach in there, Mike Miller, and it is just going downhill very quickly for the New York Knicks. And I think you have to turn to owner James Dolan. That's kind of the problem here. Dolan, he's the problem and the solution. So it's a very difficult thing. Amir calls him out as one of the worst owners in sports.
Clearly one of the worst owners.
I'm not going there because he is willing to spend money on the team. That's not a problem. He's willing to, and I think just the pressure that he puts on people to win actually causes this problem because I think that he turns to Scott Perry and Steve Mills and says, guys, I want to win now. And they said, okay, we'll try to get together a playoff team for you. They tried that with Dave Fizdale, and it just blew up very quickly, went off the rails. But like I said, he's willing to spend money, which is why it's difficult to just kind of outcast him as an owner. He just picks the wrong people. That's a different problem.
They're horrible.
Donnie Walsh.
The Knicks suck.
That didn't end well. Phil Jackson ended even worse.
Lamar Odom.
Who was on crack?
Even worse.
And now we have Scott Perry and Steve Mills trying to put together this franchise. Dave Fizdale's on the way. It is out. And it's just basically everything that could go wrong for the Knicks has gone wrong. At least Kevin Knox is showing some signs of hope recently. R.J. Barrett, while he's not a John Morant yet, he is being he is giving the franchise hope, and that's all I can say. And Mitchell Robinson as well.
You do know that RJ and Ja were the same draft class, right?
Yes, I know. We give him time to develop. He's in the big spotlight of New York. Some people fizzle. Ja's in the much more laid-back Memphis.
That's true.
That's fair.
I guess. I don't know.
He's chilling with Paul Simon in Graceland.
The Knicks suck. We all thought they were going to suck, except for Knicks fans. Mike thought, very optimistically, I will say, maybe they'll be fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah, there was hope.
seed.
There was hope.
In the immortal words of Jim Carrey,
Nope.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Nope. They
Exactly.
are down in the basement of the Eastern Conference, hanging out with the Hawks, with Trae Young.
Wizards.
Who is also actually another disappointment. But they are not good.
We forgot about Bobby Portis, by the way.
Oh,
Another
Bobby
big
Portis.
signing.
Oh, the boxer.
Yeah, he's had a couple big flagrant fouls. I don't know. He's getting a little bit of a reputation as a dirty player, Bobby Portis.
Alonzo Trier.
Okay,
I
moving
actually like
on
him.
to.
I actually like him. He's a decent shooter.
But it all
Needs more
crumbled.
time.
It all
Needs
crumbled
more time.
very quickly.
Needs more time.
Very
It just,
disappointing. One of my biggest disappointments of the year.
Yeah, it's just not working.
Coming from
out
a
for
Knicks
the
fan,
Knicks.
for sure.
It's looking up, though. Only lost to the Lakers by 8.
That's
Yep.
true. That's true. We covered the spread. It was 11
They get
and a half.
close games.
It's funny because I was looking at that and I was like, 11 and a half. The Lakers are going to blow them out. Knicks cover.
Oh,
Vegas
yeah.
always knows more than you.
Yes.
Always.
Except if your name's Bryce.
When in doubt, that's true. I pick it 60% at the spread in the NFL. When in doubt, fade the public, people. That's my little betting advice for you. I think that's enough for teams that just don't matter. Amer, you have a disappointment, but at least this
You
is
missed the
disappointing.
underlying tone there for Mike's comments, really, in general.
Amer's disappointment is another team, but at least this team is someone that's a little more exciting to talk about.
Yeah, they've been relevant recently in the past, 100 years. I'm talking about the Portland Trailblazers, of course, in stark contrast with the Knicks. The Trailblazers, they were in the Western Conference Finals last year. Well, they did get swept. They beat the Nuggets in 7 games last playoffs, and so
One of the best series of the playoffs, yeah.
they had a ton of hype coming in. They made some big trades for Hassan Whiteside. They bolstered their front line, but they are outside of the Western Conference playoffs at the moment. They are looking in, and although it's a tight race, a lot of people expected them to be higher than this at this point in the season. Dame is, of course, playing as Dame does. He's a beast, superstar in this league, but it's just been tough. His supporting cast hasn't really been there. C.J. McCollum's been a little bit up and down. They resorted to signing Carmelo Anthony, which actually has been a great signing so far. He's averaging about 16 points per game, which is pretty much the best you can expect from Melo. I think the biggest problem with them is just they got injured a lot, especially in the front court. Collins, of course, Nurkic coming back from that injury last year. They were missing a lot of defense and toughness on the inside, and so they're kind of getting beat down in the paint, which obviously is a huge part of basketball, and so that's, I think, why they're kind of low. And if they can't really pick up momentum and get these guys back soon, they might be out of the playoff race in the West, which would be a pretty disappointing season.
Front court is still suffering from the Greg Oden
syndrome.
Yeah.
Big injuries.
And Brandon Roy too, with his backcourt. But
That's
But
very
these are throwbacks.
big concerns for the Trailblazers. They currently sit at 10th in the Western Conference. Having to jump now to get into the playoffs, they have to jump the Grizzlies and the Spurs, and maybe even the Thunder, who are currently in the 7th seed. Thunder and the Spurs might be better squads than the Trailblazers are overall. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still close. It's only, a 2.5 game
Right
separation
around there.
between them and the 8th seed, so they can definitely make up the ground. There's a lot of teams fighting for that 8th seed in the West right now. Pelicans, of course, with Zion, as
Suns.
we mentioned. Suns,
Devin Booker.
yeah. So
Never
it'll be a dogfight for them.
All I have to say is if you're picking up Carmelo Anthony, your season is pretty disappointing.
I don't know. I think you're just a
That's
Melo
coming from
hater.
a Knicks fan.
It's coming from next
Just a
fan,
big
but
Melo hater.
he brought us to the Eastern Conference Finals or semis
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
against the Pacers.
Oh man, Melo, I don't think carried them at all, and he wants a statue outside MSG.
He wants a statue. He wants his
Ah,
number
he's
up
not-
in the rafters.
He's not gonna get that. He's not
Number
gonna get
7.
either one. Oh goodness. But boys, got anything else? No.
Looking forward to a good second half. Hope
Knicks
the ratings go back up.
Well, we'll see. But those were our trending up, trending down stuff going on. Obviously, more than that, talk about the Warriors being poor. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is turning into a star.
Yeah, seriously?
Really?
He's playing great
Shai
for the
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Thunder.
Shy?
Shy.
Shai.
Shai.
Gilgeous. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was in the PG trade. Clippers might regret that.
Sure was.
Ah.
They're getting PG if they win the chip.
Wait, but like,
No regret.
what's a PG-13 trade?
What?
Like, if it's like a okay, like a well-rated trade, like it's appropriate, I guess. What about
just for Paul George?
on our trade?
That's for Paul George.
yeah. But he is PG-13.
Yeah, it was PG-13.
I know.
You could have gotten out of that one.
But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Utah Jazz. You can talk about just how poor the Warriors and the Timberwolves
Of
are.
course. Timberwolves were kind of lost Jimmy. They didn't play well last year.
Bryce trying to imply I should have picked different surprises.
Probably.
Yep.
But obviously a lot going on in the first half. A lot more to come in the second half. Zion Williamson is back. We got a big fight for the last couple seeds in the West. All-star game to come up. A lot going on. And we'll be here to cover it all at Between the 20s. We'll see you next time up at these links. Drop a like, drop a comment, let us know. Until then, we are Between the 20s.